solver for the CVRP track. The team is composed also by my PhD advisors, Professor Alexandre Placino and Professor Everton Souza. So I'm going to start by talking of the essence of using data mining with Metaheuristics. In this context, data mining has been used for discovering patterns that characterize near-optimal solutions. And the idea is that these patterns can be used for guiding the search through more promising regions of the solution space. This strategy has already been used in some Metaheuristics for many other problems. For instance, we have applied it to the heterogeneous split VRP, and these applications have achieved many improvements with respect to solution quality and convergence speedup. In particular, we apply in our solver an approach called multi-data mining, or MDM, which is conceptually pretty simple. It keeps an elite set with the best solutions found during the search. Then it uses a data mining method to extract patterns from the solutions in this elite set. And this data mining method is triggered whenever the elite set is considered stable, which means it has not been modified for a while. Then it uses the mining patterns by inserting them in new initial solutions. Well, at this point, I believe everyone is already familiar with the hybrid generic search, but here's another high-level representation of it. It starts by generating initial individuals with an optimal split algorithm applied to random permutations of customers. Then once we have an initial population, it enters this loop where we can see this hybrid evolutionary framework, which is for us a black box that contains most of the HES components. And what matters for us here is that this hybrid framework generates at each iteration an offspring individual that is inserted in the population. This algorithm is restarted whenever it reaches a certain number of consecutive iterations without improvement, and it terminates when it reaches a time limit, returning the overall best solution. Now here is a representation of our method. The gray boxes represent the new or modified components. First, we made a little intervention here, so as whenever a new individual is inserted in the population, if it makes the cut, then it is inserted also in the elite set from our approach. When this elite set is stable, which in this case means a certain number of consecutive restarts without any modification, then the data mining process is triggered, and it extracts patterns from the elite set solution. Finally, we added a new individual generation method, but we keep the original method, which is more random than ours, so we can keep an adequate level of diversity in the initial population. So we have part of the initial individuals generated by a new method and part by the original one. Now let's take a look into this new generation method. Note that in the beginning, when the algorithm starts, there are no patterns available. They only will be available once the elite set stabilizes and the data mining process is triggered for the first time. So in this initial individual generation method, if a pattern is available, then the first step is inserting the parent elements in the solution. Then we run a randomized version of the well-known Clark and White savings algorithm, which is followed by a local search, which is the original HGS local search, and the individual is inserted in the population. And this process is repeated until we reach the desired number of individuals. Now I'm gonna present a small example to illustrate how this process works. So here we have 4 solutions for a given instance of CVRP, which compose our elite set. And the data mining process we adopt for this approach is based on the task in data mining known as frequent item set mining. So we are gonna find frequent item sets from these solutions that are maximal. In this approach, we represent these solutions with a set of edges. So the items in these item sets will be edges from the solution. And we are looking for frequent item sets, which means frequent in this context. It's item sets that are present in at least a minimum portion of the elite set solution. So in this example, let's suppose our minimum support, which is the minimum portion of the elite set solutions for an item set to be considered frequent, is 100%. In this case, we will have only one parent, which is the maximal item set that is common to all solutions in the elite set. Note that this parent is a set of edges which can be combined, forming larger paths between customers. So the parent is actually a set of frequent parents in the elite set solutions that characterize near optimal solutions according to our hypothesis. Now, this is the usual way of initializing a solution in the Clark and White saving algorithm, which is assigning each customer to a separate route in the solution. Now, once we have a pair, which is a set of paths, which we believe are good paths, are paths that characterize good solutions. So then we initialize routes corresponding to these paths that are in the pattern. And the remaining customers are assigned to separate routes as usual. And the Clark and White saving algorithm will start from this state instead of this state. These are the parameters introduced in our method. We have the elite set capacity, number of parents mined from the elite set, the minimum support, which is the minimum portion of the solutions in the elite set for an intercept to be considered frequent, a coefficient that is used in the elite set stabilization criteria, another coefficient that controls the initial population size, which is a constant in the original HGS CVRP, a constant 4, which we believe was a too great number. The initial population in the original HGS CVRP is 4 times the minimum population size. So we turned this into a parameter, so we could tune this. And the final one is the initial population randoms level, which is the portion of the initial individuals generated by the original method from HGS CVRP, which is more random. We have manually tuned these parameters separately for each instance size range. and obtaining these final values, these final configurations. The tooling process was performed on the X instance set and targeting the average primal integral, as this is the competition metric. Then we have performed some experience comparing our method, MDM-HGS, with the original HGS CVRP, and compare them regarding the average primal integral, and also average cost and best cost. The blue bar is the one corresponding to the original HGS CVRP, and the red one to our method, which we can show from these charts that had a large advantage against the original method, not only on average primal integral, but also with respect to the cost of solutions. And this is a great result, since HGS-CVRP is one of the best methods for CVRP. And this was confirmed in the phase 1 of the challenge, as our solver ranked second, a close second, on the overall results, and ranked first on the X set, which is similar to the instance that will be used on phase 2. So we are really expecting a good result in phase 2 as well. Well, that's all. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.